Thank you for visiting Dare to Know Chess in the Age of Reason, one of our summer exhibitions here at the World Chess Hall of Fame. The show is inspired by chess in the Age of Enlightenment, and particularly how chess was part of a really lively scene of thinkers, writers, philosophers who were all passionate about the game of chess. Chess had a really special part in coffee house culture, and coffee houses were where people would go either to play chess, read, discuss with others the kind of events of the day, kind of the beginning of the public sphere. In this case, we have artifacts related to the Café de la Régence, and in the center is a really beautiful chess set called a Régence chess set after the Café. The Café de la Régence was the most famous chess coffee house in Paris in the 18th century. And we have books by some of the writers and chess players who were associated with the lively chess scene there. We also have this print, which shows people huddled around a chessboard, eagerly watching the next move of the game as some of the early stars of chess are playing, including Philidor, who is not only a chess player, but he is also a composer, and his portrait is on the Opera in Paris. We have this case, which shows not only a mysterious musical chess set at the end, but also other games that were played at the time, including this beautiful tarot card set. Many of the artifacts in this collection, or in this exhibition, are from the collection of Tom Gallegos, and he's a collector of antique games as well as chess sets. We also have this Freemason's apron, and if you look carefully at the floor, it has a chessboard pattern, the familiar black and white squares. This is a really special highlight of Dare to Know. It's a chess set that once belonged to Madame Tussaud, and we have a letter on display from her grandson attesting to its provenance as her own set. Madame Tussaud is best known today for her wax museum in London, but she lived many years in Paris where she was associated with royalty. And then when the French Revolution happened, her own life was in danger, but she ultimately was saved. And then she had the kind of gruesome job of cataloging the faces of many of her friends who were sent to execution. She left France later and settled in London, where she rose to fame as the proprietress of the Wax Museum. The Mechanical Turk, or the chess automaton, was a famous illusion from the Enlightenment era. And it was presented as though it were a chess-playing robot, when in reality there was a person inside the cabinet controlling the moves of the chessboard. People were allowed to challenge the Turk, and you can see in this little reproduction, they would open the cabinet doors at the beginning, almost like you know, a magic trick where the magician's going to saw a woman in half, and they throw open the cabinet and they say nothing underneath, nothing under here, and then they close everything up. And he would play against dignitaries, people in royal courts. He traveled throughout Europe and then ultimately to the United States, and captured the imagination of people around the world. And writers would kind of challenge themselves to try to figure out what was really going on with the Mechanical Turk. So you can see in these illustrations some different ways that people thought that someone was hiding in the cabinet, including that someone was inside this representation of the Mechanical Turk himself, almost like a costume, moving the arms as you know the game would progress. And we'll finish here with the Encyclopedia chess set. The Encyclopedia was a really unique project which encapsulated the goals of the Enlightenment era. And in it, the authors sought to catalog all of the information in the world, a very humble aim. And so it was everything from the newest political ideas to articles about different professions. And in this case, this chess set is inspired by an article from about toy makers in France, and tabletteers. And so this is a pattern that shows a really common style of chess set at the time, represented in the show by this one. And so it kind of like became associated with the Encyclopedia, which was written by Denis Diderot and his collaborators. He and his collaborators were often subject to persecution for their ideas and sometimes had to go into hiding. And so this chess set, even though it looks pretty humble, has a really important place in history. Thank you for visiting our virtual version of Dare to Know Chess in the Age of Reason, and I hope that we'll be able to see you in St. Louis soon at one of our exhibitions.